All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael McPherson, founder and managing partner of RBS Managed IT Services. We're a boutique MSP based on Vancouver Island, Canada. And while the Wi-Fi may occasionally waver, the coffee is exceptional and the people are some of the kindest you'll meet. So, to give you a little bit about my background. My IT career started at the age of 13 when the screech of a dial-up modem was the anthem of my youth. Since then, I've worked across industries, from scrappy startups to global finance, building, breaking, fixing systems the whole way through. For the past 16 years, RBS has been my focus, helping clients adapt the unrelenting pace of technological change. Like wave shaping stone, we've evolved with each shift, gaining resilience and perspective. What has kept us grounded isn't just staying current with tech, it's our commitment to real relationships. We're here to help, not hype. Today, I'm excited to share the story of how we helped Country Grocer transform their point-of-sale infrastructure using Scale Computing's HU153 platform to drive resilience, performance, and peace of mind. What if your IT infrastructure just worked like ink in a pen? It sounds simple, almost poetic. But let's be honest, that's a comically unrealistic comparison. I like to remember this quote from the now departed CEO of one of our clients. Their infrastructure was weighed down by over a decade of tech debt. When we proposed an upgrade, he pushed back. Why? Because in his mind, shaped by working in IT back in the 1970s, IT should just work like ink in a pen. But here's the thing. IT isn't a pen. Often, we find that it's more like a Rube Goldberg machine of temporary fixes and old hardware and half-completed plans. We've all encountered it, unrealistic expectations, possible demands, clients, pardon me, clients who simply don't understand the complexity behind this. But let's be fair, that's why they hire us. And I think we all know the migraine-inducing reality behind that assumption. Now, unlike that other client where the CEO resisted change, Country Grocer listened. They understood that while IT should just work, achieving that requires thoughtful investment, expert guidance, and a willingness to confront the pain points honestly. Country Grocer is a proudly family-owned and operated grocery chain that has served Vancouver Island and Salt Spring Island since 1984. The company is deeply rooted in its communities, offering exceptional customer service, competitive pricing, and a strong commitment to supporting local farmers and producers. With 11 locations, including stores in Duncan, Cobble Hill, Nanaimo, and Victoria, and aspirations for continued growth, the need for a more robust and resilient back-end IT infrastructure has become clear. Reliable systems are essential to support point-of-sale operations, inventory management, supply chain coordination, and customer engagement at each store. Additionally, they need the agility to adopt new technologies, safeguard sensitive data, and minimize downtime, all critical to ensuring the Country Grocer can keep delivering excellent service while maintaining the trust of its local suppliers and loyal customers. Country Grocer operates 11 stores, each serving as a community hub for their neighborhoods. And like many growing companies, their core focus is on their customers, understandably. But as the business scaled, some of the underlying technology didn't keep up. Over time, their IT systems became a weak point. They weren't failing every day, but every day they were at risk of failure. And that risk was invisible, hanging over the business like a storm cloud. This could impact customer service, transactions, and day-to-day operations. Let me give you a quick snapshot of what we found when we first assessed their system. Yes, those are slices of PVC plumbing pipes holding up their servers on a rickety table next to the rack. So our mission was simple: modernize their infrastructure in a way that made it more resilient, easier to manage, and future-proof without overcomplicating things. Each store was suffering from a digital key man syndrome, running its mission-critical point-of-sale system on a single basic Windows 10 home desktop. Server-grade hardware, no backup solutions, no remote monitoring, and these desktops were plugged into unmanaged consumer network switches, meaning there was no segmentation, no visibility, no proactive protection. The risks were substantial. The desktop could power off unexpectedly, a hardware failure shut down an entire store's POS operations, and any kind of data loss could be permanent because there was no backup support. Critically, if something went wrong, there was no simple way to fix it remotely. The business was flying blind. We weren't just looking at a technology refresh, we were protecting the ability of each store to operate, to serve their communities, keep their business moving. The solution? Scale to the rescue. The turning point came when Country Grocer acquired another small chain, 4 stores that were even worse off than the core stores and needed immediate upgrade. Scale to the rescue. If we could get those sites running smoothly, it would give us a real-world example of what was possible. It was a perfect moment to showcase what scale could bring to the table. To convince them, we didn't just tell, showed. We brought the cluster on site, already powered up and humming. Right there they could see. This was a data center in a box, and it was already powered on, running on a UPS when we arrived. And we were able to show off its capabilities immediately and in person. Our data center in a box proved that the new solution was small, power efficient, quiet, and would not require much in the way of resources. The solution we proposed was based around the HE153 platform. Compact, powerful, purpose-built for environments exactly like Country Grocer. At the core was high availability, something they could not have even considered previously. Each site would run a 3-node cluster combined with a pair of 2.5 gig switches for performance and redundancy, ensuring there was no single point of failure. All the regular scale highlights followed, including nightly snapshots for point-in-time recovery. And all of this came at a price point that was incredibly attractive compared to traditional server solutions, making it not just the best option technologically, but financially as well. We knew the key to success: move fast, but not recklessly. We tackled one site at a time, upgrading racks, wiring, switches, not just patching over problems, but building a strong foundation. We went site by site, installing new small wall mount rack in each location, replacing aging and unmanaged network equipment, dedicating clean cabling and switching to the new cluster environment. This not only upgraded their compute layer, but also brought their basic infrastructure, wiring and switching, up to a much higher standard. To deploy the point-of-sale Windows servers, we utilized the snapshot and replication feature scale. The point-of-sale vendor created the first server, and we snapshotted the VM, prepped it, set up replication from cluster to cluster, thereby cutting days of effort off the deployment. The entire deployment across 11 active stores was completed in under 3 months. We prioritized speed, but without cutting corners, ensuring each site was fully operational before moving to the next. The final physical installation was clean, simple, easy to manage, let alone the rest of the improvement. Almost immediately after installation, the stores noticed the difference. System performance improved significantly. The point-of-sale applications became faster and more responsive. Tasks that previously risked freezing or slowing down could now be handled smoothly. For management and IT support, the transformation was even more profound. They went from having no insight or control to having centralized dashboards, real-time monitoring, and reliable backup routines running automatically every night. Most importantly, they now had built-in protection against failure. The business was no longer riding on the back of a single desktop computer at each location. Can't forget to mention Fleet Manager. Incredibly easy to set up, intuitive to use, and honestly, it just works. No more wasting time bouncing between systems or doing endless manual checks. With Fleet Manager, we monitor and manage this environment and many others from a single unified dashboard. Not just convenient, it's hours saved and headaches avoided every week. like ink and a pen. Another important perspective came from the third-party vendor who supports Country Grocer's point-of-sale software. They were impressed by our ability to get a new store up and ready for the point-of-sale system migration. They also noticed and commented on how much faster the systems were operating, both from the tills themselves and when performing maintenance or weekly or updates remotely. They also appreciated the built-in snapshot capabilities, which provided extra confidence that if something ever did go wrong during an update, the system could be rolled back easily without major disruption. But don't just take our word for it. Point-of-sale software vendor, the people supporting the tills every day, noticed the difference and praised the improvements. That validation cemented our success. Since completing the rollout, Country Grocer has experienced a significant reduction in downtime across their stores. The risk of catastrophic system failure has been essentially eliminated. Management no longer has to hope that the systems stay up. They can trust that they will. Support has become proactive instead of reactive. Instead of running to put out fires, we can now focus on optimizing, future-proofing our operation. Importantly, the successful deployment of all the HE153 clusters paved the way for the installation of a dedicated backup node at the central warehouse. Now, every store automatically backs up to the central node each night, ensuring centralized data protection, off-site redundancy, and complete peace of mind. And most importantly, they're no longer worrying about IT holding them back. With a foundation built for growth, Country Grocer can focus on what they do best, serving their customers and their community. In the end, this wasn't just a technology upgrade. It was a transformation of how Country Grocer operates, grows, and serves its community. We took them from risk to resilience, from reactive support, proactive management, from outdated systems to a future-proof IT foundation. Today, they no longer wonder if their systems will hold up. They know they will. And that's the true power of this project, delivering not just performance or uptime, but real peace of mind. Thank you.